Good morning. My walk and talk today is about the courage to make a mistake. Right there on my Facebook page, you can see the post of Alexandra Isayevich. She's my partner. We've co-created a number of different products, and one of the products is the metaphorical cards about fear. How do we experience fear and why? Actually, we only have three innate fears. The fear of losing our footage when the earth gets shaky under the feet. Maybe it comes from ancient times where people were living on volcanic plateaus. The fear of very loud noise, again, probably because of the volcanic activities at the time. And then a fear of not survival. That kind of covers all of it. It's the biggest fear. If you look at anything, that fear is the underlying cause we don't do things. Why? Because survival is not just physical. We want to survive as a personality, as an ego, as a story of who we are. And so if we do something, we might lose the footage. Oh my God, look at this. This is so beautiful. The water dew from the evening, from the night time. So we want to be acknowledged, we want to be loved, and this is the survival, mental, emotional survival part for the human being. Animals don't have it, because for animals to survive is to hunt, to eat, to sleep, to procreate. And we are all animals. Within our body, we have all the instinctual memory of the physicality of our ancient body. But also, I truly believe our mind does not come from the monkey. I believe we are physical material of the elements of the earth, but with the God's mind and higher cultures, cosmic cultures infusion. And if you are interested in this, Greg Braden is my favorite author on it, because he is not only a great author, he is a researcher, a geologist. So he's done a lot of research in this area where we come from. And monkey is only one of 21 theories. There are more theories, which I love much more, and I would suggest you research that. But coming back to the fears, is as animals, we are scared to not survive physically, but as human beings, we are also worried about how our ego survives, how our relationship survives, our resources, so we can be fully covered, not go hungry or cold or without the roof over our head. And we also need to survive as spiritual beings, and spiritual beings' survival is a whole different level, because as a spiritual being, we need to be creative. We need to create something in the world and be recognized for that, acknowledged for that, not necessarily by the people, but at least so we can like what we've created. And if you think about your life, right this moment, think about what are the things you love about yourself, your creations, what you're proud of, and what are you not happy with, what you are not accepting as your creation, because everything is our creation. What we have around us is the summary of the decisions we made, places we went, knowledge we've gained, crises we lived through. So if you think about our survival, it's a complex issue, because we can survive as an animal, but if we're not surviving as a spiritual being, we don't feel okay. And each one of us has the specific desire that leads us in life, our way of thinking. I've been talking about science of Syucai, understanding of what exactly is that desire. And on Monday I'll do a master class at 6 p.m. Eastern, in which you will understand better you can join my Telegram channel for it. But today I will talk more about this post that I've created with Alexandra on the same page, and you can see the image of electrical scat. It's moving like this in the water, like as if it has the wings. The shape of his body looks like a kite. So the scat is moving through the water as if it's flying. And actually the water is a metaphor for emotional realm, because water fluctuates. Water is very wise. It is a conductor of electricity, so it has all the electrical impulses from what's going on here on Earth. And the water was the major medium in which life was born here on Earth. So we are 80% of water, especially if we drink enough. Sometimes we feel dry mouth. That happens because our body is telling us drink. You need to drink half of your body weight in ounces in order to just sustain your body. But for the body to function optimally, the clean spring water, clean water needs to be in the body all the time. And we have a natural perspiration through the talking, through the walking, and the water disappears. So the supply of water needs to be replenished all the time. Preferably, tea is very good, soup is great, but with the clean water, you get a whole different quality of your body performance. And also for your brain, the water also much needed, because brain is the mess that survives on water. It's a fatty mess, and without water it doesn't have enough flexibility and not enough ability to make new connections that help you understand life better. So back to scat. It moves through the emotional realm of the water, finding the flow, because always, no matter what the circumstance, it's our job to find where we belong in that space and find the flow with it. So what we do very often, to be loved, to be understood, to be connected, we drop in our emotional state to match somebody, or we try to get higher in our emotional state to connect with somebody. And it creates a number of different fluctuations within our own electrical field, because we cannot be higher or lower than our background emotional state. We all have a level that we sustain, and of course we fluctuate, but not too much. When you fluctuate to the highest emotion, it's a burst of energy, and you actually lose the energy. When you're very happy, ha 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 ha, and then you cannot laugh anymore. And when you are in a low state, let's say you're crying, or there is a depression, or there is a fear, or there is an anger, you also get tired of it. So the only state in which you are more sustainable as the life, as the human and spiritual being, and as an animal, is the state in which you can function optimally, is the state of relaxed alert, of the level of observation in which you are not fluctuating too high or too low, from the state of willingness. I'm willing to experience things in life. I'm willing to look around and see opportunities. I'm willing to connect with people and understand people from where they are, but not necessarily go where they are. Also, the level of bravery to meet the challenges of the day, because sometimes we see the opportunity, but we're not brave enough to go there. And also bravery to be yourself, the courage to be yourself, because very often in a crowd of sad people, being happy is dangerous. In a crowd of happy people, to be sad is to feel alienated. So how we find our own flow? We find our own flow through understanding what is sustaining me. And what sustains everybody is that desire, God-given birthday, that kind of is a vector of our ego, of our story, of our desire, of our personality. So some people desire power, some people desire to be on top of the things and be strategic, some desire to have connections with other people at all costs. Some people desire to have a system, a structure, and give everybody instructions. Some people like a lot of goals, none of which can be completed. Some people love to create priorities and be very goal-oriented. Some people desire to talk a lot, like me. Some people desire to share knowledge through their conversation, so they don't like conversations that lead nowhere, which very often are the superficial conversations when we meet with people, or we eat together, or we drink together. How are you? I'm okay. Connection slow. So some superficial conversations are not doing it for me. So for me to have a deep conversation with somebody takes time, and usually we don't have time, especially when we just meet with people briefly. I'm a tango dancer, and I would love to know everything about everybody. So in the dance evening, it doesn't work, because you either talk or dance, which bothers me a lot, because while you're dancing, all you can get from the person is the name, and then 5 minutes later, you forget the name, because you don't know anything else about it. In order to connect with somebody, you need to have some sort of commonality. And therefore, I remember people's faces, and I remember their embrace, but I do not know anything beyond that, which does not create a deep connection. So Facebook is a great tool. We can connect here, ask me questions, I'll ask you questions, we'll get to know each other. So some people only care about comfortable life, so they would not go out of their comfort zone. Some other people like to create comfortable life for others. Those are the people that run Airbnb, for example, or gather people to give them, to feed them for the holidays or things like that. Some people love to create and market, to find the best about everybody and spread the word. Some people love to always be energized, so they find the way to move energetically through life and bring people with them. People who like to be on a stage, to be a star, to perform. People who like to work, believe it or not, some people are charged by a lot of work, and if you take that possibility from them, they do not really feel okay. So they need to work and control their working process, and there are people who want to help everybody. A lot of people want to help everybody, but helping everybody is only possible once you are self-sufficient and you can help yourself. If that is not happening for you, helping others gives you a reason to live. That's great, but you lose energy all the time. So this is inner desire, inner quality that we all have according to your birthday. And what I'm talking about is not numerology, but numerology is the word that describes our relationship with life. Everything is numerical. We know that 10 fingers on your hand, on your hands is okay. 9 is not so good. 11 is abnormality. We have 2 ears to listen, only 1 mouth to talk. So that gives us an inner wisdom to listen to other people more and ask questions to listen, to understand. Sometimes we try to understand people through talking. We have 2 eyes to observe, only 1 head to think. We think up things, we make up things. What we didn't see, because we didn't pay attention, we make up in our mind. And our mind is subjective. We live in 3 realities. Subjective reality is what we think, how we perceive things. And it depends on when we are born as well, but it depends on many other things. And the objective reality is what's happening whether we see it or think of it or not. Like, for example, right now I'm in Florida, not in Illinois like I was a year ago. This is subjective, objective reality. But subjectively, I like it more. Some people love it more when it's cooler. I love it more when it's hotter. So in our mind, we always judge and make decisions based on our subjectivity. But the objective things exist without us. For example, I right now am working under the full sunshine, and it's November. If I would be working in Illinois, probably be a little cooler. But for some people, would be great cool. For me, would be cool. Always objective and subjective are interplaying, which creates some of the fears, because we want things to have things to be the way we have a picture in our head. And the picture of our head, usually the picture that matches our inner desire. So, for example, if I always want to help people, and some people don't need my help, I get extremely upset. Do you have something like that? When you want to help your children and they go like, nope, I'll do it myself, especially if those children are 30 up, or even 2 and plus. 2 plus, we call it terrible 2, because at that point the child wants to separate and be its own person, but no, we will tie up your shoes. No, I'll do it myself. And also, we want the reality show up like we want it. So if it's not the way we want it, we get upset, we feel disappointment, we missed and messed our appointment with the picture. But the picture only exists in subjective reality in here, in our mind. And to match it with whatever is happening right this moment is absolutely impossible. You can change your attitude toward it, but not the picture. Whatever is real, subjectively, is not equal to what's real objectively. And then there is super objective reality, which supersedes all of it, because we also live in a society with its rules. We also live in a state with its rules. We also live in a country with its rules. And therefore, we can subjectively hate all of it and love all of it, but it is what it is. So if there is a law, you cannot go against the law, however much you can hate it. And when you need the law that helps you survive, you might love it or not, or your opponent might love it or not, but the law protects us all, because it's a common super objective reality that is working for everybody regardless of what we think about it. So our fears come from the idea that if things are not our way, it's not right. Well, it might not be right for us, but it's right for somebody, because not everybody has the same desire, and not everybody born on the same day. So the numerical values help us understand the quantity of things, but we rarely think of numerical values as quality. And the science of Syucai, I'm a master of Syucai, I practice Syucai. That's why I'm working every day, because it's part of the practice. Helps your body release the adrenaline and cortisol, and therefore have less fears, because those hormones support the spring-like state of our body when we're all in tension. So I release tension, and I gain new perspective as I'm walking, which I highly recommend for everybody. So when you understand numbers as qualities, not just as quantities, you open a whole new universe of understanding. For example, when you measure your temperature with a thermometer, you understand that 96 is okay. 100.5 is not okay. And this is not just numerical, because you don't really know what how every point feels, but you know this means that. So with the numbers, we assign a particular meaning, and then we use the numbers as a symbol to this meaning. So in this case, the quality of the state, of the body state, is not optimal because the temperature is higher, right? Higher at 100.5 than your normal body temperature. So it's not how many points, it's more about how you feel about it. So we all have the emotional state that also could be measured in hertz. So there is a quantity. For example, depression is 10, shame, blame, guilt is 20, fear is 30 to 50, anger is 50 to 70, desire is about 100 hertz, and then we have courage at 200, we have understanding at 400, or something like that, we have love at 500. So those are numerical qualities, not quantities of hertz. Yes, of course, there's a quantity of hertz because electricity is measured in numbers like everything else, but it's a quality of how you perceive life through the lenses of different emotions. Therefore, choosing the emotion that is more life-sustainable is important, but how do you understand that if you don't know the quality of that sensation, of that feeling? So God gives us an ability to sense and feel, but we use it as a judging mechanism. I feel good, I feel bad. But the truth of the matter is, it's a scientific mechanism to understand where are you lacking electricity and why. So the fear is pretty low emotion, and we create fears in our head. Fear, or acronym, is false evidence appears real. And the Scott, the electrical Scott that you see on this Facebook page with Alexandra presenting one of the cards from our metaphorical card deck, Scott represents the fear of mistake. So you don't really know if it's a mistake or not before you make an action, before you follow on your decision, before you make a decision, before you research what to do, before you connect with people about it. You don't know if it's a mistake or not. You can do something in this moment and it feels okay, but a week later, a day later, a month later, you might look at it from your new position of the knowing, because now you've been there, you've done that, and say, well, that was a mistake. But that statement is a judgment. But that judgment has an emotion attached to it. And that emotion is registering in your body, is a not life-sustaining emotion. So once your body remembers that emotion, it doesn't want to repeat it because your judgment, not the action itself, your judgment creates that sensation in your body that is not pleasant, not life-sustaining. So the body does not care whether you do this or the other thing, because in the moment you always do the best. You never do something that is against life, at least if your mind is functioning properly, and you are not harming yourself or others. I hope you don't. But later on, because you went through the experience, you grew over that experience, you've understood how to do things more optimally, you might look at that experience and believe you didn't do it well. You did it the best you could, but you could do even better because you're learning. So every mistake is a possibility, is a stepping stone, is a milestone in your life. But very often, because we judge ourselves and the emotion is imprinted in our emotional field, nothing lives. We have a whole luggage of our life in the memory of our body, not just in your intellect. It's intellect of the body. So every cell has its own memory. And the water in your body, that's why you need to drink a lot and change the water. Drink and pee. Release it and walk so you can sweat it out, and go to the sauna, which you can also sweat it out. Because the water has this ability to conduct the electricity and also embedded in our organs. It gives our possibility to have the icon, a shortcut, like on a computer, to this emotion. So next time you want to do something, if you've judged that action, similar action, the next time your body will not let you do it. Because somewhere in the background, in emotional background, which is the summary of everything you've lived through, all the emotions, all the judgments, all the fears, all the desires, all the dreams and everything else, embedded in the cells of your body, all of a sudden, it gives you an unpleasant feeling. You're not necessarily feeling it. You might, but not necessarily. But all of a sudden, something is uncomfortable. Something is not pleasant. And so we live in that state of pleasant, not pleasant, comfortable, not comfortable. And that state is the status quo. I'm not going to leave my comfortable place, but my comfortable place is the summary of all the previous experiences. And if I believe I made a mistake, then this is my comfortable place, to be in the result of that mistake. But when you overcome that idea, false evidence appears real, the acronym of fear, you understand that there is no evidence. It's a previous experience, and in a new experience you might have absolutely different result. You can have absolutely different emotion. Better yet, if you understand that courage is the emotion to strive for, I'll try. What am I going to lose? I'm not going to lose my life over it, right? Unless, of course, you go to dangerous proposition. That's okay too, but you need to train. My husband climbed, there's a low connection area. My husband climbed Mount Everest. It's a very dangerous proposition. And everybody was asking, how could you let him do it? And I was always asking, how could you stop anybody? If somebody wants to express themselves, if they want to try something, would you stop your child from learning how to walk? It's pretty much the same. A 2-year-old, 1-year-old needs to learn how to walk, and a 30-year-old needs to learn how to, go through the birth of the first child, or something like that. And my husband decided that he wants to climb Mount Everest, and he wanted to try it. And I wouldn't ever stop anybody. Why would I stop my husband? I respect him and I love him, and of course I want to give him the best experience. But I made an assessment. He's very strong. He's very masculine. He is very goal-oriented. At the same time, he's not very aware in his body. Okay, great. If you're not aware in your body, I will make sure that I'll give you an experience so you can be more aware. I can also say, no, you should not go, because maybe you don't see well, maybe you don't hear well, maybe you don't feel tactilely well. Great. You can say that, and that's a judgment, even though it might be true. But you can also say, you could be much more optimal so you can survive better. So with any dangerous proposition, there is an ability to make things different, to make things better in your body. And that will allow you to go through more experiences. And every experience is the milestone for your body. Maybe for your mind that likes to judge, it's like, nothing. But the body is like a dog, like a little child. You need to train it all your life. And as I said, when you go through different experiences and your mind looks back and saying, oh, I should have done better, I'm not good enough, some other people are better, some people accomplished more, I made a mistake. Those are the emotional states recorded in your body. But once you understand that those are your limiting beliefs about yourself based on the judgment, you will understand that every time the energy drops down, and at some point you get in this judgmental state, which is 20, which is blame, shame, complain about yourself or others. And in order to come up from that state, you can use a very simple emotion, very easy to enter. Maybe courage is hard, maybe happiness is hard, maybe understanding even hard, but this emotion is very easy. And that is the emotion of surprise. And again, in the science of Syucai, we have a step-by-step process, which is so easy. You look at all the emotions, whether they're low or high, doesn't matter. You lose the energy. You find that one emotion of courage and you go, I cannot do it either way, just because my body doesn't let me. My mind wants to try, and my body feels uncomfortable in this moment. And my body feels uncomfortable. I need to separate myself from the idea, from the experience, and therefore I'm going to judge myself or that experience as not sustainable for me. It's not possible for me. But using surprise, you can absolutely jump out, create a quantum leap out of any state. How interesting! Why is it so? Why am I thinking this way? What is this? What is it about me? Being in this curiosity, surprise yourself. Why things are like this? Can I do something differently? Can I experience something differently? And even if it's not the way I like, I will give myself a surprise feeling, a surprise action, a surprise conversation, a surprise meeting with somebody, a surprise action. How interesting. Why don't I like it? Okay, that's not the right person for me. That's not the right action for me. Fine, it's not a problem. It's another milestone. I've tried something, my body recorded a different experience. Now it can choose from different experiences exactly what is needed in each moment. Just like a little child going to daycare, preschool, first grade, second grade, only second grade, college, becomes a professor. This is how we are in life. And the school of life is the most important school, because only when you have an experience that is to you, you can be much more sure. If somebody tells you something, you can trust that or not trust that. But people judge experiences from their own perspective. The same experiences could be different in feeling for different people. In Illinois, some of my friends, a couple, lost their house due to smoke detected in the work. So anyway, the house was terrible. They couldn't live in it. It burned down. And so people on the same street lost their houses, and everybody was, oh my God, all my things. My friends, on the other hand, also dancers, they know how to dance with life. Because on a dance floor, you constantly change the partner, just like in life, you constantly change your state, you constantly change what you engage with. So my friends are, oh my God, we always wanted a new house, but we couldn't afford it. Now we have no choice. We need a new house. We'll have a new house. And so they had a new house, and it was a celebration of life for them. And for many people, it wasn't a celebration. It was a very devastating experience. When something, we possess some things, whether it's relationships, or our understanding of how those relationships should be, or our children that we love to keep close to ourselves, we have that understanding that without us, that something will not survive. That is just an idea. False evidence appears real. For example, I absolutely love my daughter. We even came here together, and we see each other very often, and I absolutely love our connection. At the same time, it was a challenge for me to understand that she is an adult. With the son, it was much easier, because men are different, women are different too. And so that connection, a very deep connection, was very, very hard for me to let go and allow her to do her own thing, to move her own way, and to make her own decisions. And every time, even now, she asks me an advice, I try to ask her, research, analyze, see what else is available. My opinion is just one of the opinions, and it might not necessarily be right for you. It might be right for me, but not for you. And so with everything, we project our outcomes, how we see things will be, into somebody else's electrical field, which creates a fear, even in our children, even in our grandchildren, even in our colleagues. When we start projecting how things will be and telling somebody else what to do and what not to do, this is exactly where we are giving somebody else an experience they must have on their own. Because learning through life is the important thing. But the other important thing is learning, receiving knowledge, understanding knowledge. Knowledge is easy. You can buy the knowledge. There is a lot of information. You just need to find information that is resonant with you. What is the resonance? The quality of the information, the electricity of the information matches your electricity. People I have in my practice are the people that match my electricity. So whoever comes to me, these people feel the connection. Other people don't. So if you're on my broadcast, maybe the electricity is similar. If you are dropping out of my broadcast, maybe I'm not high enough or low enough for you. So it's not about me. It's not about what I do. It's about how you perceive things and how I perceive things. And I'm absolutely grateful for every connection I have in my life because it opens my perception, it widens my horizon, and it allows me to make choices I haven't done before, learning through the people, understanding that other choices are available. Back to the Scott. On that Facebook page where you are listening to the broadcast, Alexandra Isayevich, my partner, good morning, and colleague, an artist, and an author, we create images and information together. So we've created a couple of decks of the metaphorical cards. More are coming. There is 9 in my projection and how I see things. And we started doing this deck, and we couldn't do it right. We started with animals that were not right, and we didn't want to do it because it was not right. But we overcame that idea that this is not right by start looking into what are we learning through these animals. Because it started as a short project. She started drawing animals, and I am very much connected to the ancient science, Chinese science. I believe that's ancient enough, and it also is connected to the Vedic science of India and even more ancient Vedic science, Slovenic Vedic science from the Siberia, from which I come from. And when we start looking from this deep understanding, the Chinese, I wouldn't say it numerology, it's called I Ching, 64 different hexagram, but like I said in the beginning, everything is numerology. In Chinese culture, those numbers meant certain qualities of the people, of relationship, of emotional states. And so we went deeply into it, and every animal spoke. And every animal said what they're scared of. And then I started writing children's books about it, the stories of those animals, because every one of them was hunting me down and telling their stories. Sometimes I would be driving somewhere in a different city because I travel a lot for my work, and I also dance, and I also do sessions in different states. So I'm driving and the animal speaks. So I pick up my phone, I put it on recorder, and I just tell the story. In 10-15 minutes, I have the whole story. And then I send it to my other friend, who's also a storyteller. And she's like, where did you get it? I'm like, I don't know, I'm driving. Could you put it somewhere where you could you transliterate it, transcribe it? Because I just didn't want to lose it, because the animal spoke. So the Scott on this Facebook page, where Alexandra presents it, is scared of making a mistake, and therefore look at his face. I mean, those animals showed up with those faces for a reason, because we have reptilian brain, mammalian brain, and human brain. And reptilian brain will always give you a reason not to do anything. Mammalian brain will always bring you into connection. Love me, hug me, kiss me, dance with me, live with me, keep the relationship with me, help me. So it's okay, you can come out. There's a car coming out. So, and human brain will always judge or will always inspire, depending on the emotional state. So how you talk to yourself is the result of the electricity. When you have a deficit of electricity, when you're tired, when you are judgmental, when you are unsatisfied, it has to do with how much electricity, how much energy runs through your body, what are your resources. And interestingly enough, when you are alone, your electricity drops down. Why? Because electricity, just like the food, right? If you're sleeping, you don't need to eat. If you're working, you might be hungry. So when you are working with a lot of people, connecting with a lot of people, you need more electricity, and it's being supplied to you because we're not separate, we're plugged in, the electricity of the world. So the more you need to move, the more electricity you will get. So I'm walking every morning because as I walk, my engine starts working and electricity rises up. Electricity goes through the spine all the way to the head because the spine is the encapsulation, it's a channel of electricity where you have the nervous system. And nervous system without electricity is death. So if you feel a little off, sad or depressed or wondering what the hell is going on, it very much could be that you are not moving enough, that you're not walking. And what I've discovered, that walking forward, stepping on your heel, finishing on the ball of your foot with your toe completing the step, is creating a signal, because nervous system, of course, goes everywhere. And it creates the signal for your body, which translates through your mind as moving up and forward. And life is sequential number of concentric circles in the shape of the spiral. That's my perspective of life. And so every time you rise above your experience and you see things from the different perspective. That's why we can judge, but we can also look forward and be inspired. So as you walk up and forward, the electricity rises up to your head and your brain receives the particular amount of electricity to change the emotional mental state. And therefore your thinking becomes different. But if you're sitting or standing even, or dancing even, because I dance waltz in circles, I dance tango going forward and back and also sideways and circular. Milonga is usually side to side. Those are not the directional movement, if you think. It's like in life, you go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Then you start in ED, you're circling, vicious circle. And so the brain registered it in a different way. This is my recent discovery, because I walk every day, but when I go dancing, I just went to Colombia for 8 days. I've been dancing every single day, many hours. And I start seeing my, not my energy level, because my energy is always in the same place pretty much, not my emotional level, but the chaos in my head, the thinking in my head. And I can observe my thinking and see which are the parts that are not optimal. So believe it or not, we lived in a small resort. Oh my God, look at this woodpecker, beautiful. We have so many birds here that I can see very, very close by. In Illinois, we also have them, but much further. So woodpecker, I always see things as symbol. You know how we do the same thing. There is a song that woodpecker doesn't have a headache. That's why he can do the same thing. If we do the same thing, the brain gets tired and gives up. So anyway, in this resort was very little space, but I kept walking. So in the resort, everybody knew me because every day I walk. And they're like, why are you walking? You're dancing like 4, 5, 6 hours a day. I'm like, I'm walking because dancing is going in the same place. Walking gives my brain a particular direction, a vector, which helps a lot. So if I did not persuade you to walk, read about it. Maybe tomorrow or a couple of days later, I will give you exactly the quality of your body while you're walking. There is a measurement of where the electricity rises, depending on how many steps you made. So after 10,000 steps, your energy is above your knee. And after 15 plus, you go to hips, which is your reproductive organs, by the way, your digestive tract, your sensuality, sexuality, energy for life. So if your energy is not even at the hip level, you judge what kind of life you have and what kind of love life you have. But then if you walk 15 plus and 20,000 steps, this energy shoots up your head, and in your head, the neural connections are electrified. So you can think clearly, you can have new ideas, you can have better decisions. So half of my work I'm actually doing on the walk. I talk to you, but as I talk to you, the ideas come to my mind about which I write later on or include in my sessions. For example, the idea of walking and moving in circles and how it affects your body came to me on the walk a couple of days ago. And also I plan my day, and I also send electrical mail. Electrical mail is something you send from your heart. You believe, and I believe that too, that when you tell people or when you send them a real email or real text or you call them, that you influence them more. Not really, because people have resistance. Not everybody wants to be influenced, especially not our children, especially not our bosses, and maybe sometimes not your employees want to be influenced by that, not your spouse for sure. And so when you are walking and you bring your attention to your heart, so it doesn't come just from your mind, but also connected to your heart, and you remember something beautiful, wonderful that softens your heart, because not always our heart is soft and open. I remember wonderful things that happened last week in Colombia, for example. For me, was a beautiful connection with amazing people. And then I think of this next person I want to communicate with, and I simply send them a blessing, a prayer for them. And the prayer could be formal. Some people believe in particular aspects of God and particular religion connotations. Great. I believe that everything is one and the same, and however God appears to you is not important, because every prophet and every concept of God, every facet of God is for us to learn how to be God-like, how to be a true child of God, how to be the true child of the universe, how to be the spark, the star that you are. We all come from ether into the physical realm. So you can argue with that, but physicality without the spark of the soul, you probably saw this kind of people, usually survive very barely. So when I connect to that spark of God in my heart and the idea of the universal magnitude through breathing, the prana comes in and my legs are connected to earth, to material plane. With that, I send a prayer of may you be blessed with whatever is right for you, whatever is easy for you, whatever is beneficial for you, whatever you need in this moment. And then I always attach that little piece that I love you and I'm always here for you. Whenever you need me, you can call upon me. And some people calling energetically, some people calling physically, some people don't call, but they still receive that cloud of love and connection that I've created. So if you're struggling with somebody, which does happen in life, not everybody wants to hear you, to listen to you, or even see you, all you can do is to think with your mind and your heart connected about this person and send them your love. You can even imagine a cloud or a sphere of any color, because colors are also very much connected to your electrical field. But when you think of love, like I said, before you send anything, think of love, of something you love, something you enjoy, something you don't judge, but actually am proud of and enjoy doing or enjoy being with. Put it all in a sphere of light or whatever color you like, and just energetically send it. And that is a true email, the one that everybody opens, because that comes as a blessing, and people feel it whether they think it's you or not. But the truth of the matter is, if you wish these people well, does it really matter if you told them something or the universe spoke to them through your love and connection? For me, it's not that important. So as I'm working, I'm sending all of you the sphere of love and connection and the sphere of the material manifestation, because I am a master in that. What I do for work, I analyze how things are in people's personal life or business life. If I see the business failing, or the life is failing, or the relationship is failing, or the connection is failing, or the health is failing, my talent is to see the sequentiality of how things started and where they're going. And just like a detective, I look into it and I make a connection and I show the picture. So when I create metaphorical cards like the one that you see under this post, the picture of the electrical scut, I put the knowledge that I have, the field that I've created throughout my work and my connection with people into those cards. Intentionally, everyone who touches the card, who works with the card, opens up the window that I've created as I was working with the card. Alexandra is a very wise woman. She's studied cultures and human behavior for many, many years, and she puts her wisdom into our cards as well. So together we've created a set that helps you identify what kind of thing is happening. On the other side of each card, there is a process, really. The animal speaks to you just like it spoke to us, so we recorded that conversation on the back of the card in very simple terms, how this animal feels, how it wants to feel, what he feels as a fear, and what the pathway to success. And because animals spoke extensively, it was really hard to compress, so we've created a little booklet with the games. Those games are the ones that were downloaded from the animals. They told us this is how people could play with us, because not everybody knows what to do with metaphorical cards. So those games, some of them are very original, and when I played with my kids, it's absolutely astonishing. But you can just simply read and already have that conversation open for you. Because once it starts, just like a prompt, once upon a time, and then you go to the story, it's the same way, the cards work the same way. And I invite you to work with this card, the electrical scut. On my master class on Monday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, I will talk about how you can use different tools to understand yourself better, to bring your emotional state to the state of wonderment, of curiosity, of surprise, to the state of courage. I can do it. I'm strong enough. I'm smart enough. I'm good enough. And my life has a purpose. The purpose of your life kicks in after you're 33, and all of a sudden your psyche split because the purpose takes over, but the energy goes away. So I will teach you how to find that energy, because after 33 we operate on 30% of the energy in relationship to what it was before 33. So some people think they're sick, some people get depressed about it, but the truth of the matter is the energy is gone, because there is a split in consciousness between what I desire and the actions I do for it. Because after the purpose, mission of life kicks in, it's an energetic influence of the universe. Jesus Christ showed up on the scene after 33 for a reason. As a teacher, he was a son of the carpenter before, but then he comes back as a teacher, and teacher of love. So in that moment, Buddha also had all kinds of fluctuations in his wealth and actions, but then he became Buddha. So we all have that moment in our life where we need to understand that before 33 we have the whole world open for us, and after 33 it's a channel. We have to do what God gave us to do. And if we're not in that channel, you have a problem, Roger. You have a problem. Because if you're in the wrong channel, you always feel unsatisfied, often blaming on everybody around you, all your insufficiencies, very often on the parents. Parents didn't do it to you. They couldn't do it to you because the mission only kicks at 33 when you don't have parents necessarily living with you. And if you live with your parents after 27 and 7 months, that means the mission that your body is receiving and the mission that will lower your energy because the split between what I want and how I can do it starts, you will blame it on your parents and parents will suffer from it. So I kicked my daughter out actually at 27. I'm very intuitive. I didn't know about all of that. Those are the Syucai practice knowledge and also my personal life and experience knowledge. But I realized that there is a moment in life, which is 27.7, where things start being different because you're coming into the last part of the of your story, of your cycle. So 27, 28, 29, 30, you get into that space in which things start changing for you. And at 33, if all of those new things that fluctuate are not kicking in, and 33 you do lose the energy. But not necessary, because 32.7, you can have a preview of what the life will be after 33. So 27 is the 9-year cycle completed. The new new cycle begins. And in this new cycle, you start feeling the changes in your body, and then the mission kicks in, and that means by then, you need to be strong enough not to lose all your energy, but also know how to find energy if you do lose it. So for that, we have a Syucai science teaching us, and for that, I have worked all my life to collect all this information I'm sharing right now from the thousands of people I work with. My own clients, the forums where I was invited to teach, and from all the travels, all the shamans around the world, all the dancing, because dance is a huge metaphor for life, and all that my mission is about. And my mission is about knowing everyone a little bit, reading people's field. My body is very open. I can read people's field, and giving you a feedback so you can use that knowledge to make your life better. Not through the judgment of what you've done and what kind of mistakes you've done, but from the understanding that every mistake is a milestone, that fear of mistake is strangling you from living your life, that mistakes are the most beautiful thing in art. Every time I position one eye, I paint. One eye higher or lower, a new personality arises. Look at the Modigliani paintings, for example. Look at Picasso. So expensive. Everybody values their painting, but you don't see symmetry or proportion sometimes in those paintings, because everything has its own purpose, and the originality is found in mistakes. The wisdom of life comes through the mistakes. The understanding of your true psyche comes through the mistakes, because nothing is a mistake. Everything is just a reflection of the way we think, of the way we live, the way we connect, and through our own creativity, we can see the creativity of the world. So very often when I create something, I take an almost ready painting and I pour some dark color on it. I put it in a shadow because that's the best, and I start again on the same canvas. Why? Not because I don't have a canvas, because I'm training myself to let go of something I think so valuable for me, so I can start something new again, not in an empty space, but on the space of the mistakes or original strokes, I should call it, I placed before. And my most energizing paintings are exactly the paintings that have many different layers. And I usually start my painting by just pouring paint everywhere, which creates a lot of mess. But through that spontaneous action, some themes arise. Because we can think so much. We can feel much more. But when we are open to receive, in a state of curiosity, what else is possible? What didn't I see yet? Where didn't I go yet? What is the most interesting thing for me to explore? Where is my fear hiding? What am I scared of? And you bravely step over it. You have the courage and willingness to try something else. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your successes. You become much more self-sufficient, most importantly, much happier. Because the people who do not have enough love are looking for more money and for bigger businesses. People who have money are looking for happiness. And the wise people are not looking for anything, because wise people are receiving wisdom in how to be in this world and be fully expressed through who you are. So what are you looking for? What are you seeking these days? What's missing? What's not enough in your life? And what is the fear that keeps you thinking that you're missing anything? Go bravely forward to figure things out. And by the way, if you want to do a little practice, take a piece of paper, preferably big enough, take some magazines, cut out pages or tear out pages that stand up for you. Don't worry about little details. Put the whole picture on your poster, and then more, layer different pieces from the magazines that you cut out. You can use the scotch to glue it in, or you can use the glue, and layer the whole white piece of poster with those images. And then look where they are interconnected. See what your subconsciousness is talking about. And if you're brave enough, post your collages here under this conversation. I will give you a deeper meaning, but I'm sure you're also capable of looking for the meaning in your collages. I often do this. I layer a few pages and I see where they're interconnected, and then with the question, what else I didn't see, I go through the magazines and I cut little pieces and details and I place them on my collage on top of it, so it has an extra layer of connectivity. Or you can take a little cap from the bottle and you can randomly place it around a few places and in a few spots around your collage and make a circle. And I bet you that in those circles you find some things that you didn't know about yourself. So, be yourself. Allow yourself to experiment. When you have mistakes, be grateful. Bless your mistakes, for it's life coming to you and talking to you. When you want to bless somebody else with your experience and knowledge, send them the sphere of love, a sphere of color, of electricity, an energetic mail to say how much you love them. And if you want things to be different, be willing to try. And this is it for today. I love you very much. Thank you very much for listening. I see some people stayed with me through the whole broadcast. I applaud your patience. I talk a lot, but I try to bring what universe is talking to me about today. And for those who are listening and those who are interested in listening later on, my intention is to be of service. So if you got into this broadcast now or later, it's meant to be for you. Just trust it, listen, write down some inspirations. Maybe not all of it is for you, but some of it is definitely for you. And with that, I'm sending you a sphere of golden green love. And I also send a big hug to my friend, Alexandra Isayevich, my co-creator, who inspires me to do things well. Because I'm very fast, I do things fast. Alexandra brings it to the completion in the most beautiful way. And if you're interested in those cards, insightful color rediscover.com is where you can find the videos about it and understanding, inspiration, and images. Insightfulcolor.com. That's her website, our website. I will leave the links for you in this broadcast to join my Telegram channel for the masterclass that will be on Monday, and also for you to see the beautiful art that Alexandra created and the products that we've created, which some of them are free for you, like the art classes, for example. Have an amazing, blessed day. Much love.